All right, thanks everyone for having me. I'm James Scaggs, the CEO of Advanced Crypto Services. We are an ASIC repair and outsource maintenance company. So as the CEO, I have experience in a lot of big mines, publicly traded company mines, private mines, small mines, and so we are intimately aware of the small and large challenges that these mines face when it comes to staffing, and that's what we want to talk about today, is mining at scale with minimal staff so that you can optimize your operating costs. So first I'll just talk about a few of the common staffing constraints that we see. First of all, it's going to be budget. So if you have a small mine, 1 to 5 megawatts, you may find it challenging to find it in the budget to be able to staff full-time employees that are going to have the level of expertise that you would need in order to maintain the uptime that you may have modeled out. If you're a much larger mine, it's very likely that you are in a remote location. So when you're in a remote location, obviously you have geographic challenges in trying to find the talent that you need. You also face seasonality. In West Texas, we're based in Fort Worth, so in West Texas it gets extremely hot. In the summers, we see a surge in demand and the heat is just brutal. You don't necessarily need the same amount of staff that you would need all year round when you're in the summertime. So you need to be able to adjust for the fluctuation in the demand for your labor. You don't want to get into overhiring and then firing. Nobody likes that situation, and it also leads to increases in your unemployment insurance costs. And lastly, catastrophes. They do happen, and I'll give you an example. We have a client that we've worked with that had 30,000 miners go down due to some sort of a power event, and when the miners came back up, 1,000 miners were no longer working, and so that suddenly inundated their staff, who was already doing a great job, but now they have 1,000 miners to deal with, and they just weren't equipped to handle that. So having overflow support is extremely important. And so here's some common staffing strategies that we see. The smaller mines will look for a jack of all trades, somebody who kind of knows it all from networking to troubleshooting, diagnosing, and logistics, shipping, and everything. Those people are great, and if you can find a lot of them, that's awesome, but they are very hard to find. And then you can find locals. So if you're in these remote areas, it is a good idea. You know, we see some companies that do a great job of community hiring, and again, it can be difficult to find the more technical talent whenever you're just trying to hire locally. Referrals are a great way as well, so finding people who are interested in the industry, Bitcoiners, and then recruiting obviously is a common strategy. And so another strategy that is, I guess, a little less common is what we call operations as a service. And so some of the benefits of operations as a service is using a third-party service provider to support you, whether that be during deployments when you have increased needs, or when you have a catastrophe, or when you're in a season that's very challenging, to be able to have a service provider who can come out and just hit the ground running to be able to help you get your miners and your uptime back up again. So with operations as a service, the benefit is you only pay for what you need. It helps you to maximize your uptime. It's minimal pain for you. You don't have to do a bunch of work to be onboarding contractors. The service provider can handle all of that for you. It's pretty much guaranteed success because you're bringing people in that have a lot of experience, and it's a fixed expense that you can negotiate up front, and larger companies like to have a fixed expense so that things don't sort of snowball out of control. So what does operations as a service include? It essentially includes things such as triage field service. So this is where you have staff members who are dispatched to your site to come out and identify miners that have low hash rate, identify miners that have power supply problems, control board problems, fan problems, and essentially fix those miners on the fly to restore your hash rate. It also includes MRO, or maintenance, repair, and operations inventory planning. So, if you have staff that are trying to do a triage job, but you didn't plan appropriately, you don't have the inventory on hand, or you've overpaid for your inventory, it definitely eats into your OpEx. Parts refurbishing. So if you are doing triage and you're removing power supplies and you're removing control boards, most likely you have bought the replacements new, and most cases the old ones are just getting chucked to the side. But with a service provider that also can provide repairs, you can get those parts refurbished. And refurbished parts are going to cost you significantly less than new parts. It'll also allow you to get things such as prioritized repair. So think of it as a bundling type of package, where if you're using a service provider who can also do repairs, then you may be able to get discounts on your repairs, the repairs that are not done in the field. So I'm not talking about the triage itself. I'm talking about the hashboard repair, the ASIC replacements, and the things that need to be done under a microscope that typically don't make sense to do in the field. Being prioritized in a season when demand is surging is important, because downtime while you're waiting on repairs eats into your profit. And reinstallation, so that same team should be able to not only pick up the hashboards, but also deliver them back and reinstall them at the site. So that's basically an overview of what operations as a service includes. And so ACS, Advanced Crypto Services, we provide both of these services. We provide field service. We also provide repairs. And so some of our advantages are our expertise, our ability to scale, the cost effectiveness that we can bring to you, and our flexibility in being able to bring you staff up and down as you need it. Here's just a few testimonials from some of our existing clients, and we welcome you guys to come check us out at booth number 15, or follow us on Twitter, or visit our website. Thank you.